Hey guys, I'm Kyle and you're watching Private Garage. Today we're working on the Turbo Pinto project. We're going to be swapping the T5 out, in for the C4. So it should be applicable to pretty well anybody out there that has a T5 and is considering swapping it. Enjoy and let me know what you think in the comments.
I'm going to show you the transmissions. Now, I could do measurements. I'm not going to measure the bell housings, obviously. Yeah, let's do it. Let's grab the Milwaukee tape. That's what you got to do. And let's just go over the differences. They're actually surprisingly close, and I think I'm going to luck out and get a, go the other way actually, get a straight swap without having to do any cutting. So you can see roughly end to end is about 24 inches on the T5 that I'm putting in, and coming out it's a little longer, close to that's actually, there's a rubber seal here, so it's actually almost 23.5 inches is about what it's sitting at. So you gotta ignore that seal, which reminds me I might actually need to get a seal on my other one. Whew. I'll have to look if that's internal or not, but yeah, so they're really close. I mean, you probably will have to cut a drive shaft for your application, but you won't take much out. Not that that ultimately saves you much effort. Some other differences that I noticed. So width-wise, we're sitting around 9 inches. It's actually closer to 8, but if you include some of the stuff that's sticking off up there, 9 inches. Whereas on the automatic C4 setup, if you include all the linkages, you're right around 12 inches. So you got 3 extra inches of clearance that way. I haven't pulled the mounts off the bottom yet. I'm hoping that I can swap those over and make everything fit. Gotta play with that a bit. Height-wise, oh, can you see that? I mean, they're both on the same platform, so I can literally just go like this. Hopefully this makes it clear that they're actually very similar. If anything, the T5 is a little higher, but I think it's gonna straight up swap. I'm feeling hopeful. Only concerns that I really do have, there's a ton of linkages on both systems, but the ones on the automatic are actually back on the tranny, where obviously the clutch linkage on this one is coming out of the bell housing. And if I measure the bell housings from center to on this side, obviously sticks out for the starter, I'm not worried about that. From center, it's sitting at about 7 inches. And on the auto, it's actually, yeah, it's pretty close. This is the first time I've measured this, so it's pretty close. So I guess my only concern is, can I fit linkages in here? If anybody knows, please do tell me. I'm really hoping I can. And on the other side, just for reference, starter, it's about 8 inches. Yeah, it's very close, very close. I'm not really worried about that. So I think it's gonna straight up swap in. Another concern people have is whether or not this shifter is gonna go in. There's a guy on some forums, I don't remember what forums, Pinto something or other forums. Guy swapped his T5 in, and he said that the shifter actually didn't even require any cutting. So really stoked about that. Oh yeah, that's a nice shift. That is a very nice shift. Hopefully it stays that way when it's driving. I haven't opened her up yet. I probably should do that pretty quick here. But no, I'm really excited. I think everything's gonna work out. We're gonna sell this puppy to somebody who's an enthusiast for a C4. I'm probably just gonna give it away for like $100 because it's honestly nothing special. Gonna have to put a lot of parts into it, but it is a desirable tranny for certain applications. One thing I do want to comment on. So I've got this bell housing on here. This is basically the stock bell housing, I believe. I don't know what it's for. Could be for a Mustang, could be for a Merkur. But this one on here has been modified. So this is sitting on the engine right now. I'll have to pull all this apart and see what she looks like. But you'll notice that this is a straight throw. He's actually did a decent job, welded on a tab here for a straight throw. So I don't know exactly how that works yet, but I think that's what I'm going to want to use. I think it puts less stress on everything. Probably a little bit lighter, I guess. Not that that's super important, but you can see this, the stock one. Whoa, I don't want to drop this on the floor. And it's just actually I think it goes down. So it goes down like this. Let's rotate this, give you guys a better view here. So it comes down like this, pulls the clutch. Can I actuate the clutch? Yeah, so I'm throwing the clutch out there right now. I mean, it does work, but basically it's more linkages as opposed to having something welded on here. I'll have to look up what I'm gonna buy, but cool idea. Seems like it's better. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, there must be some kind of bracket or else something that hooks onto the Mustangs that's on the actual body for the cable to attach to, whereas if you have it sticking out of the side like that, you just remove this arm completely and pull direct. Although, that still kind of confuses me because it's pulling the wrong way. How does this work? Magnets. It's like magnets. So he must have inverted this somehow. What the heck? A direct pull. Okay, well, guess I'm gonna have to do some research about that. Strange. Oh, one other comment. You can see my shaft is super rusty. Yeah, it looks like a nightmare, but what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna clean it up as best I can, and I am gonna run it. I'm gonna rebuild this transmission anyway, I'm pretty sure. And I just really don't want to spend any money yet. I really just want to get this car running because I'm going to have to take everything back out again anyway to paint it. So I think this should hold up to 170 horsepower. I think it's designed for like 300. Yeah, it's gonna pit. Yeah, it's probably gonna wreck the clutch. Whatever, we're gonna live with it. Probably gonna upgrade the clutch anyway. So that's where we're at. Coming over to the transmission, I took the bell housing out. Now you'll notice, I'm gonna put the camera down. I'm gonna snap my fingers. I'm gonna show you both bell housings quick. Now I got gloves on too. And there's two bell housings. Okay, so a couple of the differences that you're gonna see. You'll notice one, this lever is much shorter, so I guess that would be lighter weight. But this one's gonna allow for a direct pull. So you put the clutch cable through, geez, I'm bad at this. You put the clutch cable through this right here, hook onto this, and it pulls directly. Why is that good? Well, it gets rid of all this wonky, funky mess that's on here to try and do the same thing. So normally you would attach to this guy down here and hook onto this. So it's gonna act in the same way except for it's a direct pull. Now, okay, if you're worried about that little bit of weight, I suppose you could say this is better, but this clutch mechanism has extra weight too, and I'm really not concerned about this small amount of weight. The thing that I'm more happy about is just the more clean on the side. Plus, I'd be worried about all this linkage fitting into the Pinto. We'll see after I get it in there whether or not I could have got away with this, but I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to go with this setup, especially since I already have it built. And you can see he welded in, kind of probably hard to see, but the last guy welded and reinforced this and put a new stud in there. I don't know if that, like this one clearly did not have it, so yeah, he must have added that in himself, but he did a good job of it. Probably a little overkill on the welds and not the cleanest welds I've ever seen, but they don't have to hold that much. So yeah, I checked the stud out, greased everything looks good, the bearing was good. This bearing feels like garbage on this one. This bearing feels really nice. So yeah, everything's good to go. This is the bell housing I'm going to use. We're going to slap that on the transmission. Let's have a look at what I did with the transmission. I really don't want to touch it. I'm just assuming that it works for now. Again, it's going to have to come out. I'm probably going to have to rebuild it. But what we've got is basically he did a really good job of sealing up the rear, and you can see everything looks, you know, fairly clean there. I'm definitely going to need a new seal, so probably order that right away. On the front though, you can see this is actually a lot worse. I've actually cleaned it up quite a bit already. This thing's all rusty. Kind of disappointing. I can't really complain. I got this transmission basically for free, but it just makes the guy sad, you know, to see a rusty shaft go in. It is going to go into our used clutch, so we're not going to be super concerned about any wear. We are going to replace this the next time we have it out of the car. For now, again, just want to get the engine in the car, want to get everything mated up and get things running. and then we'll come back to paint another time. So yeah, we're gonna hook everything up together, bolt everything to the engine, and get ready to drop it in. Okay guys, quick tip. When you're putting the bell housing on, with this particular T5 that I have at least, and I'm sure it's all of them, the bolt head, if you start it with the bell housing flat against the face, won't go in. Like, it bottoms out against the side of the tranny. There's barely enough room for that bolt to go in, so you actually have to leave the bell housing about a 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch spaced away from the face of the tranny. Put that bottom right, that's this one down here. So this one down here, you need to put in first. See if I can get a view of why. Don't know if I can. But basically, if you look at that bolt, the side of the tranny kind of comes out in this direction, and so you can't really get it in unless you've got this spaced out. Once you get it tightened up, then the other 3 will go in, but this first one needs to be done with the tranny spaced out. So, lesson of the day.
Hey guys, that's all we got for today. Thanks for watching Private Garage. If you have any ideas or comments, please do leave them. I appreciate it. I need feedback for these videos. Feel free to throw me a like and a subscribe. Thanks a lot. See you next time.